But we are underway. We get to see just what they're made of tonight against Liga de Quito. Palmeiras hosting the Ecuadorians and trailing by 3-0 from the first leg. There's a first touch for Josué Quito, who's come into the lineup. Right, going over onto that left-hand side where we did see Brian Ramirez play as the left winger. It does indeed look as though he makes up what is a back five for Liga de Quito tonight. It's a strong challenge by Quito, lifted forward by Bruno Fuges, flicked on by Flaco Lopez. It's a misplaced header by the captain, brought down by Ramon Sosa. Good recovery. And watched behind by Quintero. Abel Pereira even watching on, having guided this team to the 2 titles in those recent years, 5+ years now in charge. A lifetime in terms of Brazilian football for Abel Pereira. Here's Vitor Roque. Tries to squeeze it out wide, but move breaks down. It's fallen kindly here for Alan. Worked onto the edge of the area, shooting chance blocked. And ricochet into the hands of Alexander Dominguez. And with that first shot, with just 1:30 on the board, Lopez spinning well on the edge of the area, lifts the crowd again. Gomez. Fuges. Really low, with a little touch into the midfield for Andres Pereira. Will now lift it over the top, down the right. Let's let go there. Vitor Roque very nearly gets in behind. A moment of hesitancy by Addick. Kind of hesitancy you cannot afford around Vitor Roque. First corner has been taken by Pereira towards the back post and headed over the top by the number 9 once again. Palmeiras, for all of their brilliance technically, also a major threat from set pieces. And although Vitor Roque not the biggest, rises well there at the back post above Lionel Quiñones. Already a very different opening 3 minutes than the one we got a week ago in Quito, where it was the home team flying forward and putting pressure on Palmeiras, making life very uncomfortable for them indeed. Piqueres has it wide for Ramon Sosa. Sosa decides not to cross it to the box, instead work it to Bruno Fuges. An early goal, and I just feel as though the atmosphere here will really change, and the belief will just start to soar for Palmeiras. Piqueres crosses. Flaco Lopez with the first shot. Follow-up blocked as well. Falls for Lopez. Eventually cleared away, but Palmeiras already threatening. It's Lopez again. Now looking for Vitor Roque as he makes the run in behind, and Dominguez smothers it at the feet of the number 9. Thiago Nunes will be trying to keep composed and look as calm as possible. It's a 5 minutes that have seen his side under pressure. Jamil with the block of that shot from inside the area. He's gone down. So too Dominguez. As Liga de Quito already looked to just slow things down after what has been a bit of a frantic start for them. Boot downfield. Hardly flicked back towards the keeper by Murillo. Nicely turned by Sosa. One of those 4 changes made. The Paraguayan came in from Nottingham Forest this season. Offers a real direct threat on the wing, whether it's left or right with his pace. It's a good turn by Vitor Roque. On the edge of the area, he's looking for Jose Lopez, who tumbles inside the box. Big appeals for a penalty. So he feels as though he was cut off. I don't think he was getting on the end of that pass. I'm a little surprised from the edge of the area in that space that Vitor Roque is not going for goal himself, but he unselfishly looks to feed Lopez. Nothing comes of that challenge. As I say, I don't think Lopez was getting on the end of the pass, which was no doubt in the mind of both Wilmer Roldan and the other officials taking a look at it in the VAR. Here it is again. It's shoulder into the back of Lopez from Quintero. And maybe if he was about to control the ball, it would be a bigger conversation. I think that's always going to end up through to the goalkeeper. It does mean, however, that after 7 minutes, Abel Ferreira's already getting a talking to from Wilmer Roldan. Long throw, headed away. On this clearance, well won back by Jamil. There's Medina drifting onto the right-hand side. He's looking for the return pass. Watched all the way by Pereira, who will clear away. Long throw in from Quintero. Gustavo Gomez away. The attempted volley from Grueso is sliced horribly off target. There's another chance to break away here. Vitor Roque chasing. Puts pressure on Ricardo Ade, who gets it away with the help of Quiñones. Well, Flaco Lopez and Vitor Roque already look a million times sharper and more dangerous than they did a week ago in Quito. Barely were involved, at least for large sections of the game. Here's Lopez again. He's out-muscled once more as the ball runs behind for a goal kick. We've yet to see the best of Jose Lopez in this tie, at least. He's been outstanding this season for Palmeiras. 7 goals already mentioned in this competition, 10 in 26 in the Brasileirão as well, where Palmeiras still stand top despite losing to Flamengo a couple of weeks ago and drawing at the weekend against Cruzeiro, the 3rd place team, 2 closest to Palmeiras. It's the form that has seen Jose Manuel Lopez called up to the last, make his debut in fact for Argentina in the last round of friendlies. Plenty of speculation that he could push for a place in the World Cup squad, given a slightly different profile to any other strikers available to Lionel Scaloni in Argentina come next year. USA, Mexico and Canada. with the long boot downfield once again. And Sugaray does as much as he can with the ball, bringing it down, winning the throw.
Just 11 minutes gone then, still no goals in the second leg. LDU Quito leading by 3-0 from the first. 3 years, 10 cases where a team has indeed won the first leg by 3 or more goals in the Libertadores. They've always gone on to the final. And 7 of those cases have then gone on to win the trophy. Quintero, it's a wild shot high into the stand behind the goal. So history certainly on the side of LDU Quito. Despite that overwhelming statistic in their favour, still not necessarily fancy Palmeiras. But it's far too soon to be thinking they're out of it. As I say, if they can score relatively early in this game, then it is absolutely game on. Unbeaten in 12 at home in Libertadores knockout games. Simply being unbeaten, not quite enough. This evening, however, it needs to be more than that, needs to be a big, big win. And used to that as well here at Allianz Parque. Unbeaten at home in 10 games in all competitions since the round of 16 in the Copa do Brasil, when Corinthians came here and won 8 wins in that time. And of those 8 wins, 6 of them over the last few weeks have been by 3 or more goals. Piqueres. Murillo. I think it was quite the intended pass, but it does find its way to Alan. No Fuges. It's Gustavo Gomez. Over the top looking for Sosa. Sosa with a knockdown. It's just a fraction behind Vitor Roque. Looks for the 1-2 with Lopez. It's headed away by Mina. Smashed clear. Giving the ball straight back to Palmeiras, albeit back in their own half. Uches with the switch onto this near side with Piqueres. Piqueres looking for Lopez. Manages to squeeze it to Vitor Roque, goes down under challenge, looking for a free kick. And looking for it a little too much, according to Wilmer Roldan, who says play on. Cornejo. Yamiel caught on the ball. Here's Andreas Pereira driving forward. The former Manchester United and Fulham man, Ramon Sosa, with the cross in. And Ricardo Ade there again for LDU Quito. Seemed to be underneath every single cross that Palmeiras put in a week ago in Quito. Ricardo Ade. Now the cross comes in. This time Lopez does get something on it. Cannot direct the header goalwards. Great cross by Bruno Fuges. And Lopez making the run across Richard Mina. Gets a good head on the ball, glancing it wide. Good chance for Lopez and Palmeiras. Lopez with a bit of space now to run into. Bounces off one challenge, he's still going. Still going, Lopez. Now crosses. And it's flicked
goalwards, but just wide by Vitor Roque. This was the chance before for Lopez. It's a good run at the back post. Gets the momentum, gets the run on Mina, gets up well. And the ability to go and win those headers, go back to what I was saying about his place potentially the World Cup with Argentina, in part goes hand in hand with that, the ability to win balls in the air. Here is Lopez, this time on the right foot with the shot from outside the box. It's blocked by Ade, and the defender goes down, blocking that one where it hurts. We didn't have the goals last night, but we certainly got the drama as Flamengo made sure they were the first team through to this year's final. Knocking out Racing 1-0 from the first leg, 0-0 last night. It does mean the potential of another all-Brazilian final is there, as it has been 4 of the last 5 Libertadores finals. Boca Juniors reaching the final against Fluminense in 2023, the only one recently. Another attack here, another save from Alexander Dominguez, denied Joaquin Piquerez, bursting forward in the inside left position. An era really of dominance for Brazil in this competition since 2020. Palmeiras lifted their second Libertadores title. Quinones covers his position to get the ball back to Dominguez. And clearance again from the keeper. With the header downfield, Grueso lifts it over the top. Dina will chase it. Puts the ball back to Villarreal. Cuero with a lofted ball. Ends up coming to nothing. It's not a great deal of white shirts looking to get forward this evening. It's going to be a long night, you feel, for El Subaday and Medina, the two strikers, the two forwards in the lineup. There's a chance here to break down the left. Cuero crosses on the right foot. Medina's there. The header on target, easy in the end for Carlos Miguel. We talked about what the mood may be if Palmeiras get a goal early. If it's Liga de Quito who score, make it 4 in an aggregate, any of that pre-game belief would really start to disappear, you feel, among the supporters. Alan crosses in, great ball, and Palmeiras have one back. It's Ramon Sosa with the decisive touch. And in less than 20 minutes, the comeback is on. The belief's always been there. And now it is coursing through the veins. It's a wonderful cross in. And while Ade was underneath everything in the first leg to head it away, this time he's caught out by the flight of the cross. And it's a deft little touch from Ramon Sosa. It's a first goal of this Libertadores campaign for the Paraguayan, and what a time to do it. A player brought in for big money midway through the campaign, as the Brazilian side so often look to bolster their Libertadores hopes. And it's for moments like that why they do just that. Ramon Sosa with the goal that sparks this tie back into life. Murillo, stepping forward out of the defence, will run after that one and put pressure on Quintero. How the Liga de Quito reacts to conceding. They're not used to conceding goals in this year's tournament. Piqueres with the cross from the left now. It's Gustavo Gomez, I think, staying up there at the back post. Give an indication of just how attacking Palmeiras are. Centre-backs staying up in this kind of position to go and attack crosses. Murillo goes for goal from closer to halfway than anything else. As a result, well off target. It's Ramon Sosa after 20 minutes with the goal that brings Palmeiras not yet back into it, but certainly making things a bit more interesting. 3-1. Liga de Quito now lead on aggregate. Andres Pereira turns, puts a little bit too much on that pass intended for Piqueres. Pereira, like Sosa, another one midway through the year coming in from England, from Fulham in his case. The express reason of helping Palmeiras hopefully go on and lift another Libertadores title. Roque does well around the corner for Lopez. Lopez, green shirt surging in front of him. And it's a recovery challenge that needed to be perfect, and was, from Richard Mina. It is, however, a corner for Palmeiras. And there's Pereira to take it. Takes it short. Piqueres, his cross in. Doesn't quite get the angle on it right. Going to go straight out of play. So we take a look back at the goal, and it's brilliant wing play from Alan. One of those changes, well, two of the changes combining for the goal, but Alan particularly coming in down this right-hand side, out of position really to play in that right wing-back role. Pereira going with Alan on the basis that he wanted someone to offer more in the attacking sense, and therefore going with Alan, the more offensive-minded player, not a right-back, as opposed to the two right-backs that he does have on the bench, Agustin Jai and Kelvin, who both got minutes in the first leg. And that is exactly why Abel Ferreira wanted Alan in that position. All Palmeiras midway through the first half. They've got one. It's going to be a foul, but Ronald Roldan has eventually given it. Gustavo Gomez, the guilty party. Liga de Quito asking the question, was he not the last man? He's turned here by Medina. Still a long way from goal. I'm sure Medina's necessarily getting away from Murillo or Bruno Fuges from that position. And a card shown to Gustavo Gomez. long way out. Quiñones standing over. We saw how dangerous he could be from range on a couple of occasions in the first leg. Instead, he takes the free kick short. Palmeiras almost with the opportunity to break there from that position. Still might. Chested down, Lopez. And that's a clear foul as you'll ever see. Quintero joins Gustavo Gomez in the book. One yellow card apiece after that foul. Two captains very quickly giving their orders from Wilmer Roldan. Piqueres. He's infield. On Sosa. Spreads it to Bruno Fuges outside of the boot with the cross. It hangs up high in the air. Lopez is unable to get to it before it goes out for a goal kick. And having seen Alexander Dominguez already take his time over a number of goal kicks and free kicks, Wilmer Roldan is immediately over to the goalkeeper on this occasion, just to warn him. Left by Vitor Roque is Lopez again. Sosa on the outside. It is Sosa who receives the ball. Ramon Sosa with the cutback. Ade there. Clearance that goes high into the sky. Piqueres chests it down. Lopez with a beautiful turn on the edge of the area. The quick feet of the big man. Still going. Looked as though he was already on his way down, having lost his balance. Slightest of little pushes on Alexander Dominguez that sends the goalkeeper flying. That's what Lopez is capable of, despite his leggy frame, his ability in the air, quick feet, burst of pace. Getting out of a very tight spot on the edge of the area there and nearly manufacturing a chance for himself. Down the line for Villamil. Throw down the line. Lopez can't win the flick on this time. Grueso launches it skyward once again. Half an hour gone. Palmeiras 1, Liga de Quito 0 on the night. Visitors still leading by 3 goals to 1. Fuges onto that loose ball. He's given the invitations coming forward as well. Shooting chance as Piqueres just gets the ball caught under his feet. Allows Al Sugaray to steal it from him. It's immediately won back by Piqueres. There's Pereira. Tries to find Allen. Quickly out to him is Josue Cuero. There's Pereira with the cross in. Lopez with the touch. Gets away from Ade, not away from Quiñones. At the moment it's more or less just Liga de Quito looking to clear the ball. And immediately coming back the other way, 70% possession more or less for Palmeiras at this stage. Cornejo. This is Quero again, he loses out. Palmeiras, as soon as they get it, they're on the move, and they're coming forward down the right this time. Low cross in, doesn't quite reach its intended target. The follow-up, however. Maurizio it was, getting into that inside right channel. Sees his eventual shot deflected behind for a corner. Comes Gustavo Gomez, Bruno Fuges, Murillo. And that is why this Palmeiras side are so dangerous from their set pieces. 11 goals coming from set pieces in this year's Libertadores for Palmeiras. To add to this tally, this time round at least. Not yet quite away though. Gustavo Gomez with a knockdown, still loose. And on the turn, Lopez leaning back, lifts the ball off target. Cheaply by Gustavo Gomez. Cornejo. Pass intended for Villamil. He'll get there. Bolivian, the hero of the first leg. Back heel, however, can't find the teammate. Palmeiras clear. He's blocked off. Vitor Roque making the run forward. The referee seen enough to bring it back though. We'll give the free kick to the Brazilians. So just blocking the path of Jose Lopez as he looked to make the run behind. Andres Pereira. Piqueres. Looking pass, just caught under the feet of Vitor Roque. It's back with Ramon Sosa, will cross with the right foot, hang it up towards the back post. Kicks off ahead and will be cleared away by Villamil, although he doesn't run it straight out of play on the far side. The throw is taken very quickly indeed. Bruno Fuges lifts it forward. Will be watched behind by Quinones for a goal kick. Darting run from Flaco Lopez earlier, just there, he's already on his way down as Fernando Cornejo steps across. Despite what Abel Ferreira may think, it wasn't a huge appeal from Jose Lopez, if any, for that matter. Cornejo with a header forward to Al Sugaray. Sugaray hoping he could get the ball back to Quintero. He does, however, keep the ball from Ramon Sosa and find the cross. Quintero. Cornejo. Cross finds Villamil on the edge of the area. Headed away, but kept alive by Quero. Awkward one for Gustavo Gomez. Finally away for Palmeiras. Laid off. Here's Alan. Round one, still going. It's really opened up here for Palmeiras. Vitor Roque on the edge of the area. What a block. What a block that is from Richard Mina. 3-on-1 breakaway. Palmeiras looked odds on to find a second goal. And that is an outstanding bit of defending from Richard Mina. Once that ball breaks into Vitor Roque, look at that, he has Alan to the right, Ramon Sosa making the run to the left. And Richard Mina covers all options and then denies the shot from Vitor Roque. Mina perhaps only came in for the first leg due to the injury suffered to Gianfranco Ayala in the last training session before the first leg. Excellent 1 week ago, and that was a goal-saving intervention. Piqueres, Sosa, Lopez. So well tonight, Lopez, in terms of that dropping in, being able to link up the play. Just hasn't quite fallen for him inside the penalty area. Lilo. The idea was the right one, breaking the lines and trying to find the feet of Lopez. I think, despite only getting the one back so far, here as we see from the drone shot of Ramon Sosa's flicked header, Gabriel Ferreira will be relatively satisfied through 37 minutes with what his side have produced. The one goal and the many more dangerous situations. If you can find a second before half-time, then this is really on. Lopez again. Vitor Roque makes the run behind. Out onto the right-hand side. Vitor Roque with the cross. No one on the end of it as it goes straight through. Once again, Wilmer Roldan having to just remind Liga de Quito to move things along as Jose Quintero casually walks over for that throw-in. There's Pereira. Finds Maurizio. Drops it off with Alan. Similar position to the one that he found the cross for the goal. This time, Palmeiras a little more patient. Maurizio. With Bruno Fuchs. Out Murillo here on the near side. And now Palmeiras come down the left. Sosa. Piqueres. Back with Ramon Sosa. Creeping forward now, Gustavo Gomez. Probing down the right-hand side, Bruno Fuchs with the cross in towards Vitor Roque, gets there. That run again across Ricardo Ade. Can't find the finish. And a lot more joy from crosses than they had through the first leg. Three-way collision that leaves Quintero, Mina and Vitor Roque all down on the turf. Great atmosphere tonight inside the Allianz Parque. And the band of visiting supporters, no doubt feeling the nerves almost as much as those players. playing their part as well. Would only be the second Ecuadorian side to reach 2 Libertadores finals if they could hold on to this lead and reach the final showdown at the end of the month at Liga de Quito. Barcelona, of course, have managed it twice in the 1990s, losing on both occasions, while Liga de Quito, with their one final in 2008, lifted the trophy. Nicely done by Conejo. Header forward, intercepted momentarily by Andres Pereira. El Sugaray. Eased off the ball by Piqueres, who's playing an interesting role tonight in that inverted midfield position. Really, it's Ramon Sosa effectively playing as the wide left player. And although Piqueres goes out to help him, far more central than you'd normally see the Uruguayan. Palmeiras are playing a back four, and he's undoubtedly the first choice left back, showing his versatility tonight in that more central midfield, and he's got some defending to do here. It's a good breakaway. Liga de Quito can't find the cross. El Sugaray was awaiting inside the middle. Guerrero goes down, was looking for a free kick, not according to Wilmer Roldan. Alan brings it away calmly for Palmeiras. Lopez. Alan's blocked off as he makes that run down the left. Lopez then loses out. And Liga de Quito come back the other way. Medina with the drop-off for Al Sugaray. Conejo. Guerrero with the scoop over the top. Chance here perhaps for Liga de Quito. Hooked back to the edge of the area. Header on goal. And a header over the top. Best moment of the game for the visitors. A couple of minutes before the break. Offside flag has gone up anyway. He made the run down that left. Lovely bit of invention with the scooped pass over the top. Comes to nothing. But Liga de Quito, despite suffering the setback of that goal, are nearing half-time. Quintero forward, intercepted by Piqueres, who's now out of position. The Uruguayan gets his head up, he does, immediately looks long for Vitor Roque. Number 9's forced wide onto the left, he backs up Mina, drops the ball back with Sosa on the edge of the box. Andres Pereira, Sosa again. Sosa lifts the ball towards the back post. Lopez tries to spin away from his marker, Josué Guerrero. Didn't have the space to be able to do it. Just gestures there to Ramon Sosa as to where he needed the ball. And it wasn't going over his head. Bruno Fuchs as we move into 3 added minutes here at the end of the first half. Alan down the right, gets there, digs out the cross towards Lopez. Lopez up, nearly drops to the back post for Ramon Sosa, but it's turned away instead. Vitor Roque quickly out there to take the throw. Piqueres back to Vitor Roque. Onto his right foot, head up, looking for the cross. It deflects to the edge of the area. Yamil helps it away. It's still not quite clear until Richard Mina sticks his laces through it, up towards halfway. Gustavo Gomez launches it straight back again. Vitor Roque pass behind Sosa, but still with Palmeiras on the attack. Laid back to the edge of the area. Vitor Roque again goes for goal. It's blocked by Quintero. And Conejo, with the help of Quintero, can finally get the ball clear. Alessandro Alzugaray has gone down off the ball as he went chasing that. No one around him. Palmeiras certainly not going to put the ball out of play. Allen around Quito and brought down. That will be a yellow card, one would imagine. Given the position that Allen was in and the fairly blatant attempt to bring him down by Josué Quito. He'll be a little fortunate to avoid a yellow card, but he may have done just that. Instead, it is a dangerous-looking free kick. Andrés Pereira will take it. Final minutes of stoppage time. Andrés Pereira with the delivery, flicked on at the near post. Knocked on its way again by Grueso. Final chance perhaps for Piqueres, just to launch a long throw into the box. Gustavo Gomez has stayed forward as the target, flicks it on. Mina helps it away as Gomez feels as though he's getting pulled. Only free of the 18-yard box. Gomez was the target. Felt as though he was being pulled here by Jose Quintero as the two captains tangled, going for the header. There are arms around Gomez. It would be a very, very soft penalty indeed. Forward. As it was trying to spin away. Again, looked like a fairly clear foul. This time, the yellow card is in hand, and it's going to be for Richard Mina. Mina's already proved his worth with that block on Vitor Roque. I think he knew he didn't have the pace there if he was going to see someone spinning behind him. As a result, held on tight and is booked as a result. Roque has a handful of the shirt of Richard Mina to begin with as well, as he does spin in behind. Final action of the first half, with 4 minutes of injury time now. And then come and gone will be this free kick to be taken by Andrés Pereira. Not square. Delivered in the other direction instead. Vitor Roque with the header down, falls inside the box. Palmeiras had their second on the stroke of half-time. Bruno Furches doubles the lead on the night and brings them to within 1 of Liga de Quito. The comeback, the dream, the miracle, some would say, is very much on now. The visitors just wanted that half-time whistle. We've had well over the allotted 3 minutes, over 4 minutes, as that final set piece is swung in. And Bruno Furches, left alone, is perfectly placed to hammer in the loose ball. And what a time to do so. The half-time whistle is blown with the second goal. Alianza Parque is absolutely rocking. And a pre-game belief is now absolutely soaring. Liga de Quito still leading the tie, but Palmeiras lead 2-0 on the night. And now it's only 3-2 on aggregate. We're back underway here in Sao Paulo. Liga de Quito kick us off Now going right to left, Palmeiras in their traditional green. Need one more goal to get back on level terms in the tie. With that change, Lautaro Pastran on for Lisandro Alzugaray. There's Jason Medina. Down that right channel. Pastran, the first touch. It's a cross that flashes through. Kept in play by Quito. Confusion over the throw here. Palmeiras tried to take early. Roldan stopped them, and as a result, LDU Quito thought it was a throw their way, or at least pretended they thought it was a throw their way to slow things down. Bruno Fuches. Excellent pass to find Lopez. Lopez gets there. Turns the ball across the 6-yard box, and there's no one making that forward run. Sosa appreciated the idea. He and Vitor Roque couldn't make up the ground in time. Wins it back. Medina alone, but does well to turn away from those green shirts surrounding him. Medina. Gomez with a rushed clearance. There's a groan from the supporters as a result, but it's quickly won back. Sosa just on the outside of Quintero, may have just lost his footing. A free kick either way. Quiñones. Quero. It feels though LDU Quito, as difficult as that may sound, need to have a little bit more control than they had in that first half in terms of just simply squandering the possession back to Palmeiras. Lopez is under control well, goes back to Piqueres. No changes made at the break by Palmeiras. Vitor Roque making the run forward down the left, pulls it across the 6-yard box again. And once again, no one in green really making the run. It's turned away by Lionel Quiñones. Another attack down the left, another opportunity to cross the ball in. That's exactly what happens. Sosa's there. Just about cleared away. Volley on for the edge of the area, wide of the post. But Palmeiras come close. 3.5 minutes or so into the second half, and the first real sign of danger, and so close to an equaliser in the tie. Lopez rising at the back post from Piqueres' cross. And Alexander Dominguez just doing what he can to get something on the ball to prevent it going in. Follow-up then from Sosa was wide, but chance here for Lopez at the back post, rising above 2. Very nearly the third in the evening. The game continues in the balance that we saw in the first half. Just seems inevitable that Palmeiras will find a third, at least. Result, Alexander Dominguez, after making that save, has gone down here, and Vitor Roque just checking with Wilmer Roldan. This is all going to get added on, just in case. a good save, actually, from Alexander Dominguez. All his momentum going the other way. Just has to slam on the brakes. Go back the other way to prevent it from going in. Nelson's gone there on the edge of the area. It's going to be a free kick to LDU Quito. Mina, it is down, holding his face after the challenge from Vitor Roque. Slightly leading with the arm, the number 9, but it's not really a heavy collision with the face of Richard Mina. Yellow card has been shown nonetheless to Vitor Roque. Fourth yellow card of the game, 2 apiece now. Here's Medina. Medina, with a great deal of support, decides to go for goal. As a result, never really looked convincing on that left foot. There's a few arriving a little behind the play into the penalty box that were hoping Medina might be able to pick them out. Excellent slide challenge from Pastrán. As well, in possession as well. Line to pass down the right. Opportunity to cross. Jamil, it breaks for Medina. And that is a super challenge. I think Whistle has gone for a handball inside the area. The Palmeiras defence weren't to know that. And that challenge there from Bruno Fuchs as a result is excellent, regardless. There against Medina undoubtedly helps him bring it under control, even if it was an inadvertent touch. Lopez. The idea was one that was looking for Sosa. It falls for Pereira. Piquerez back to Andres Pereira. Spins around and plays Joaquin Piquerez into a little bit of trouble. He's quickly won back again, and Pereira can look for another pass. Excellent first touch from Allen. Spins away from a challenge, drives past a second. Hasn't been hugely involved, Allen, but when he does, he looks to make things happen. Saw from the attacking zones just before half-time how Palmeiras are favouring that left-hand side, but it is the right when Allen gets into those positions where they look equally dangerous. Gomez. Fuchs. Puts it forward. So Lopez holds the ball up well and goes back to Fuchs. Allen. Long cross-field ball. It's a little behind its intended target, but there's so few white shirts putting the pressure on Palmeiras that high up the pitch. It lands safely. Here's Ramon Sosa. Looking for options and instead runs into a dead end. is pulled in the process, though, so it will be a free kick to Palmeiras. Still some nerves in the stands. They're not yet Palmeiras. They've got 2 of the 3 goals needed to at least bring the tie back level. It's going to be another set piece to be taken by Andres Pereira. Floated towards the back post as a cluster of white shirts underneath it to get it away for Liga de Quito. Andres Pereira might fancy delivering against, and he drops it off. Shot from a long way out. First one's blocked. On the way cheaply wide, Medina. Pereira. Sosa. He's a little bit too long on the ball there. He's giving it away. There's very little that Yamil can do. He has to wait for the run of Quero. Quero on the outside goes down as he brushes past Bruno Fuges, looking for a free kick. Sosa looks to spin away from Quintero. Piqueres will feel as though he was held back there by Quintero, who was on a yellow card. Has to be a little wary in those kind of positions, the captain. Still all Palmeiras as expected in the second half, but yet to find a way through since the restart. Maurizio. Gomez to Murillo. The pass from Fuentes to Piqueres, who will go for goal. Long way out, and the ball skids wide of the near post. Alexander Dominguez untroubled. Allen again making one of those runs down the right, and he's this time pulled down by Gabriel Villamil, who will be going in the book as a result. It's an incisive carry of the ball, Allen. Lovely little nutmeg there on Lionel Quiñones. Really justifying the selection of Abel Ferreira tonight, the 21-year-old on that right-hand side. Just giving Palmeiras maybe a little bit extra something than maybe Agustin Giai or Kelvin would have done in a more traditional right-back position. Pereira, another free kick, hung at the back post, it drops inside the area. Turned away. Piqueres, Sosa. Back to goal, he's forced all the way back to the goalkeeper on halfway, Carlos Miguel. Get down, Ade's there with the clearance. Free kick that goes against Bruno Fuges as he climbs above the attacker to win it. Illegally, according to Wilmer Roldan.
hour gone. Palmeiras 2, Liga de Quito 0 on the night. The Ecuadorians still in front in the tie. Medina get the space on the edge of the 18-yard box, but it's Quintero who can load with the cross. Comes in, the header on goal. Carlos Miguel looked as though he was out of position as that cross came in, the keeper. Medina could have found it looping towards the back of the net instead. It's a long way off target. Finding it a little bit more difficult to create the moments of danger they did in the first half. Thiago Nunes perhaps tweaked at the break. Seems to have stemmed that flow, made the visitors a little harder to play through, and made us being resorted increasingly to these kind of long balls on this occasion as Bruno Fuges sends one straight out of play over the head of Joaquin Piquerez. As a result, Vitor Roque and José Manuel Lopez, who were very active in the first 45 minutes, have struggled to replicate that since the restart. Sosa down the left, crosses towards Vitor Roque, looks to bring it down, just about taken off the boots of the arriving Mauricio as it's cleared away. Still plenty of time remaining in this one. Two changes regardless coming up for Palmeiras. We just got a glimpse there of two getting ready to come in. Felipe Anderson and Rafael Veiga, the two that look set to come in for Abel Ferreira, both starting the first leg. These changes being made now as Mauricio is one of those that comes off. Sosa, the other scorer of the first goal. Sosa and Mauricio off, Rafael Veiga and Felipe Anderson on for Palmeiras. Kick a long way out. It's the first touch of Rafael Veiga and forces a save from Alexander Dominguez. What an introduction that would have been. Rafael Veiga straight from the bench to take a free kick from a long way out, whips it towards that corner, and he'll now go across and take the corner as a result. Near post, headed away by Medina. As far as Andres Pereira, back to Rafael Veiga. Pereira will make use of everyone staying forward. It's towards the back post, headed away by Ade. Felipe Anderson nearly onto it, but it's going to go to Quintero instead. He wanted a free kick and gets a free kick from the substitute. Just been bending wide, this free kick from Rafael Veiga. It's a terrific hit from the 30-year-old. Two-time winner of this competition with Palmeiras.
the side that won back-to-back titles. Scored in the 2021 final against Flamengo. It's, of course, Flamengo waiting the winners of this one in the final. This year's Libertadores at the end of November. Estrada's coming in for Jason Medina now. All the visitors to change up top. Olds making his 11th substitute appearance of the tournament. Scored a key goal early in the knockout phase as LDU Quito knocked out Sao Paulo off the bench. Likely feeding off scraps for the remaining 25 minutes or so here in Sao Paulo. Lays the ball back. Nice pass into the midfield. Leaving Amir lose. Looking to break beyond the last line. Instead, he loses out. Allen. Nice pass in field. It's hooked over the top. Palmeiras go direct. Alexander Dominguez thought about going. Instead, backpedals towards goal. And on the attack, it could be Rafael Veiga. It is! Veiga from the bench levels things up in the tie. Palmeiras have got there, the 3 goals needed to wipe out the first leg defeat, and they still have over 20 minutes of normal time to go on and win it. Rafael Veiga, it was, who hooked the ball over the top, looking for Vitor Roque, and he just continues that run on. Between white shirts, who stand motionless inside the box. And Veiga finishes coolly to complete, at least for now, the first part of the comeback, which was to wipe out the error of 1 week ago in Ecuador. Now the tie starts again. We're all square at 3-3. The veteran of 2 championship winning sides comes from the bench to potentially help Palmeiras back to the final again. Lopez, Veiga with the layoff. Vitor Roque looking to spin. Vitor Roque tackled at the last minute, but Rafael Veiga gets there ahead of the keeper. What an impact from Rafael Veiga from the bench. First touch, that free kick, forcing a save, and within 5 minutes or so on the score sheet to make it 3-0 on the night. It's a measure of this Palmeiras side that even having lost the first leg 3-0, he still came here not expecting, but certainly believing that they could turn this game around. Many other sides, most other sides in South America, I think you would have thought 3-0 first leg defeat was too far. And as I said, in 10 previous occasions where that has been the case in the Libertadores semi-final, no one has ever come back from 3 or more goals down. Palmeiras haven't quite done it yet, but they are back all level. And if it's expected in the final 20 minutes, they will once again head back to the Libertadores final, and we will get, perhaps as expected now for, if not from the very start of this tournament, certainly for a while, the all-Brazilian Flamengo-Palmeiras final that many expected. The two dominant forces, perhaps, in the recent years of the Libertadores, Flamengo and Palmeiras, locking horns again. Both won it twice in the last 6 years, Flamengo and Palmeiras. Joined, of course, by Fluminense and Botafogo in those other years. Well, this one not quite over yet. 3-3 on aggregate. That's a poor giveaway. Chance here for Estrada, bearing down on the box. Estrada's shot's blocked by Gomez. Not there yet, Palmeiras. Despite what I'm talking about, can't get ahead of themselves. They still need to find a fourth if they're going to win it in normal time. Allen again, brilliant, bursting forward and finds the pass. Lopez into the box. Lopez with the cross, and it's just behind. Vitor Roque goes down under a challenge at the same time. Wonderful breakaway, spearheaded by Allen again. The youngster's been on the fringes of the game at times, but it seems like every time he gets on the ball, just makes something happen. That little burst of speed that he has, the quick feet, the balance. Ideal in those situations to, rather than break the lines with a pass, just to run through them and suddenly have Liga de Quito backpedaling. Ball down the right. Liga de Quito can't make anything of it. Andres Pereira brings it away for the home team. Continues over halfway. Pass behind its target. Quinones is onto it. Estrada can't hold it up. Allen. As his ankles, his heels clipped by Estrada. And now with the scoreline 3-3 on aggregate, Thiago Nunes will again go to his bench. So too Abel Ferreira, mind you. As Flaco Lopez continues rallying the crowd here at Allianz Parque. Kel then is getting ready to come in. Changes being made also by the visitors. Fudge is the player that makes his way out for Palmeiras. Kelvin coming on in that right back position. Two changes for the visitors, Conejo and Cuero off. Alvarado and De La Cruz coming in. Felipe Anderson. Lost the ball back with Pereira. Less than 15 minutes of normal time remain here. First touch for Kelvin in that right back position now, which will presumably push Allen higher up the pitch down this right-hand side. Now waiting inside the box as a slow shot comes in and it's nearly palmed into the path of Allen. The follow-up over the crossbar from Felipe Anderson. Awkward save initially from Alexander Dominguez through a crowded penalty area. Firmly struck shot down low from Felipe Anderson. Palmeiras still knocking the ball around, trying to open up Liga de Quito and find that fourth goal. Allen has been the player that looked likely to do it on a number of occasions, does well down the right. Eventually runs out of steam as two white shirts converge him, but he finds a way out. Wonderful turn. The 21-year-old into the box. He's still going. He's brought down as a penalty. They just couldn't get the ball off Allen. And eventually, he is clumsily felled. Wilmer Roldan was well placed. There's really no way that Allen should have been able to get away from there. But he just keeps on going. And then Carlos Grueso, once he's got inside the box, just seems a little scared to make the challenge, but clearly has the arm across. Does Allen go down easily? Of course he does. But so would every single player in that situation, with Grueso so clumsily flailing in front of him. Midfielder is booked as a result. His protests perhaps more than anything else. But it was a catalogue of errors. The two that went out into the corner with Allen have to share some of the responsibility in allowing the youngster to spin out of that position and get the run on Grueso. But Grueso too had to be better. And now with it, the chance for Palmeiras to lead in the tie for the first time with 10 minutes remaining. Roberto Roque looking calm as those around him try and put him off here ahead of the penalty. Confidence, certainly something that Vitor Roque is not shy of. But he has just been holding the space because it's going to be Rafael Veiga who is going to take it. The 30-year-old
who's already come from the bench to score one, now from 12 yards, has the chance to complete the comeback and put Palmeiras in front. No side in the Libertadores semi-final have come back from a 3-goal margin in the first leg. Palmeiras lead by 4-0 in the second leg. Rafael Veiga from the penalty spot, his second of the night. And with 81 minutes on the clock in the second leg, for the first time in this tie, the Verdão are in front and are heading to the 2025 Libertadores final. This is the Palmeiras that we've come to expect. An inevitability about them tonight as they continue to come forward. And finally, at last, they reel in Liga Quito and land perhaps the knockout blow. Yellow card shown for the celebration. A yellow card absolutely worth it in the eyes of Rafael Veiga. He only scored once in this year's Libertadores. Now taking a bit more of a fringe role for Palmeiras, and that came in a 6-0 win against Sporting Cristal. But on the biggest occasion of all, when his side needed him, here in the semi-finals, Rafael Veiga's come from the bench to score twice, and Palmeiras, having lost the first leg 3-0, now find themselves 4-0 up. Here's Alvarado. Uncharted territory for Liga Quito. Cross in, it's looping goalwards. Carlos Miguel adjusts his footing and gets there. Just for a moment looked as though that could be travelling in. Alvarado's caught the keeper, and it's now going to be Carlos Miguel's opportunity to milk this one for time. Worth reminding, not just the fact that no side has come from this margin to win in the second leg in the semi-final. They've done so against a side that, up until tonight, had kept 8 clean sheets from their 11 games. Only conceding 5 goals in the entire competition up until tonight. And they've conceded 4 in 80 minutes here in Sao Paulo. Final change of the night is going to see Richard Mina come off at defender in Richard Mina out, and Freddie Mina, a winger, coming in. With the visitors for the first time now chasing the game. Two Argentines, meanwhile, are getting ready to come in for Palmeiras. Vitor Roque is going to go off. Anabel Moreno and Agustin Giai, the two Argentines, getting ready to come in. And what will be defensive changes being made by Abel Ferreira. What a night for these supporters who have had their fair share of special nights in the Libertadores over recent years. But this is right up there.
Vitor Roque coming out for number 5. Aníbal Moreno, defensive midfield player. For Vitor Roque tonight as he makes his way off. Certainly played his part this evening. Another change is going to see Allen come off down the right, and right back in Agustin Giai coming on. That 21-year-old Allen as well, outstanding tonight. It's 28 shots this evening, 68% possession. It's been a dominant display on Palmeiras. We knew it was going to be Palmeiras on top, chasing the game as they were from the outset, but it really has been. So dominant, Liga de Quito. They've just struggled throughout to contain this Palmeiras side. Lopez will be a fortunate man not to get booked for that. Standing over the free kick and then kicking the ball away. It's delayed the taking of it. Wilmer Roldan had walked away somewhat. It's now himself slowing things down even further as he asks Lionel Quiñones to retake the free kick. It will now just be hit long as we move towards the final minute of the 90. Abel Ferreira has done it again. By the look of things, it will be another Libertadores final for the Portuguese coach. Cruz to Quiñones. Forwards as he does, but it's laid off to De La Cruz. Andreas Pereira's there for Palmeiras. Lay off from Lopez behind the midfielder. And hand the ball back to Liga de Quito. Haven't really looked like scoring throughout, in truth. Even in the second half when it got back to 3-3 and they perhaps needed a shift in mentality, even then they've found it difficult to get the ball forward. Done well here down the right. Gustavo Gomez steps across. 6 minutes of added time. The visitors will have 6 minutes to find an equaliser. Gustavo Gomez thinks clever there because he gets across, wins the header, and then draws contacts, which at the very least allows him to stay down and take a bit of time, and may have even won himself a free kick in the process. disappointment Abel Ferreira's proved to be with Palmeiras. October 2020 he came in, won the Libertadores that year, followed it up next year in 2021, becoming the first side in 20 years to win back-to-back Libertadores titles. And now looks to be heading back to the final again for potentially a third title in 5 years since his appointment. Was a name that got mentioned in brief recently with the vacancy at Nottingham Forest, and of course Forest dipping into the Brazilian market for a few players in recent years, and of course going with Sean Dyche. I do wonder just how long Palmeiras, even with their money, can keep Abel Ferreira motivated. More trophies that he could add to his cabinet here with Palmeiras, the more you feel as though those glances from perhaps Europe will be heading his direction. Jimenez just looking to see out this stoppage time period now. Just 3 minutes or so remaining. The first time in the game, it is Palmeiras now sitting in their own half with LDU Quito in possession, hitting the ball long. Moreno. As this guy loses the header. Jai's there, Pereira. Lopez alone in the attack, but spins away. And spins into space. Lopez all alone in the attack, still going. Eventually tackled by Ade. One-man attack at the moment for Palmeiras, deep in stoppage time. De La Cruz charges forward from left back and then puts the pass straight out of play. Well, Rafael Veiga, hero of the match, off the bench. His 2 goals, this is the first of them. And he played a big part in the build-up. This is the second from the penalty spot. 2 crucial goals off the bench in the second half, putting Palmeiras in front in the tie. Continuing to write himself into the rich history of this club. De La Cruz lofts one forward to absolutely no one. It's a goal kick. Celebrations already beginning down on the bench for Palmeiras as they are in the stands, with about 90 seconds of stoppage time remaining. Strong header from Ade further down the field. Lopez alone in the attack, trying to hold on to the ball, but Quintero clears. It's just smashed away by Murillo. Some faces on the visiting bench that have arrived here knowing they were in for a tough night, but harbouring dreams of a place in the Libertadores final after 1 week ago. Villamil, the hero of 1 week ago. One final roll of the dice. Quintero lifts it into the area. Carlos Miguel comes and gets there, claims the ball and sparks celebrations.
The 6 minutes have virtually come and gone with Miguel clutching onto the ball. Wilmer Roldan takes it, blows for full time, and Palmeiras have done it. They needed 4, they found 4 goals, and with it, they are going back to the Libertadores final. Ramon Sosa and Bruno Fuchs in the first half. Rafael Veiga from the bench with a brace in the second, completing this wonderful comeback. A 4-3 aggregate win, and with it, yet another all-Brazilian Libertadores final. Flamengo v Palmeiras, the 2 continental heavyweights locking horns on November 29th at the Estadio Monumental in Lima.